Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Jaswinder Singh, and on behalf of Tarun, I would be taking you the opening and closing of the podcast. And very warm welcome for it. And I would say this is the session which we have been doing on weekly basis is leading us to a lot of example which we discuss, new cases we discuss, Shiv discuss about how what sort of clients we have and how we are approaching those clients and how these clients are helping us has helped us in generating revenue and similarly you guys would also be looking into how you can generate revenue for that. Also, there is a good saying by one of our client. He always says, whenever we meet or we discuss, there are two things which we earn from that meeting. It is learning as well as earning. The earning is what we learn, and that leads to the earning. There are a lot of examples we discuss, and let me take you through two of the use cases which we have closed last week. And these are the cases which are, I would say, these are one of the best cases which we have closed in my tenure of 1.5 year working with Sovereign. Uh, One of the first cases is a chartered accountant firm. The chartered accountant firm, we what they do an audit for SMEs, they do audit for banks, they do audit for MSMEs. Their pain areas were they were likely to understand whenever their team is going to do an audit, are they reaching to that respective place on time, and whatever the audit they are doing, are they filling those form on the required form of, these are certain required form of banks, there are certain required form are SMEs which need to be filled and send it across to their central command bank, and they have sent it to banks also. So what we help them in that part, we have given them a data collector app which they would be using it, which will be used for the attendance of the people when the field staff, when they are going for an audit, the attendance can be done. And we also do a geo fencing of that respective place. Whenever they are doing an audit, they will send a report which will come with that long date and time, which will show yes, that respective team has reached there and they have sent a report. And the evening itself, they would also be sending all the form to the respective banks or to the respective central command to understand this is what the audit they have done, and even to the central command of their chartered firm, so that they can see these are the findings they have worked on that. Also, this chartered account, this audit firm also, what they do a audit for, they help in the banking part. Like there are a lot of banks or NBFC which provide fund to the this used car dealers, and they get fund for 10 cars, 20 cars. There's a channel financing which they get it from the bank. And on daily basis, bank they these uh, this used car dealer has to provide a report to the bank. These number of cars are sold, they have to send a stock report to them. What solution which we have provided to this chartered accountant firm, and they have been happily will be using it. They would be doing the entire outlet of these outlet, respective to where the bank has given financing. We would be geo fencing those respective outlet. And whenever they have to do an audit, they will do an audit with an app. They will put the entire details on that app, and that will be simultaneous on daily basis. On at 6:30 will be going to the bank, and they can see that these number of cars are available as a stock over there. These number of cars are not available. So that in many cases which a bank or the NP has to face losses just because whenever they do a channel financing to respective dealer, they sell the cars and report to they give a false report to the bank. And this is how and they were having a huge losses on with this. They will able to curb that, and there is an agency which is helping in that part. Second case is a unique case which we have closed. Is it the pharma company, is an SME company. They are manufacturing into generic medicine, and they have a team of MRs, which are like 60 MRs, which are on the field, which goes to the doctors, which goes to the medical stores, and which goes to small vendor who sell the medicine to the respective medical stores. And they have a team of 60 MRs which are spread across pan India. And what they do, they visit the market, they go to the doctor, they go to the respective medical stores and the local vendor to sell their medicine and promote their medicine, so that whenever the doctor is writing and prescribing an medicine, this can be done through us. So what solution they ask for it? Because they have a spread of team of 60 people pan India. The pain area for these guys where they were not able to track out is the team is going to the respective beat, is the team going to the respective doctors or the medical store. So that with our tool, they are able to track out the 60 people at one go, at one screen. They can see these people are moving and they're going to the respect. And in pharma companies, whenever the MR goes to the doctor or to the medical store, they have to give some sort of gift to them and the samples also. Some sort of gift they provide, and sometimes they give the samples of the medicine. Tracking of those samples, tracking of those gifts was a very difficult task for the organization. With our tool, what they will be doing, they would be using our tool whenever they are going, when they going to give this to the medical store or to the doctor. They will click the pictures or a video, sending it to the doctor or to the medical store. That goes to the central command, which clearly shows that yes, the product has been reached to the right person at the right time at the right place. So this is, and whenever they have to place an, or whenever they take goes to the market and takes an order from the respective medical store or from the doctor is prescribing, they have a record of that also. The central command sitting in the office can easily see this MR has generated in first week of the beat. These are the orders. This has been collected by them, and and I think this has opened a new door for us, for the pharma companies, where they will requiring order taking as well as this DC product for us. And now I hand over to Shiv for the further discussion on that. Shiv, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jaswinder, for setting it up, and a very good morning to all of you. I think Jaswinder raised a very important proposition of our company, and he coined it in terms of learning and earning. Yeah, I mean that's what our organization does. We cater to the the medium and large enterprises, and our whole objective is that through the implementation of sovereign products, how we can help the company in terms of increase in revenues, how they can do more sales, how we can help the company in terms of reduction in terms of costs. The whole idea is how the profits can expand, how their margins can increase, how the profits can expand. So that's the promise, that our products basically offer. The other thing that we always talk about, our products basically help you to do things which cannot be done on Microsoft Excel. Our products, it will allow you to do things which are difficult to do at scale on if I'm managing a process. It is difficult to manage it, let's say on WhatsApp. Okay, so those are the kind of problems that we have essentially solved across different industries. Uh, and Let me talk about the first product, which is Intellomatic. As always, I'll start with a quick uh, uh, what is it that we shared during the earlier podcast. So a quick review on those. So we spoke about this FMCG company, actually how they basically improved their customer delivery by using the annotations feature. It's an image annotation feature. We now have many use cases. Jaswinder just spoke about this pharma company. We have this example of a poultry feed company, or many other companies who have used a geofencing tool, and that has basically helped them in terms of getting real time updates, and also in terms of avoiding unnecessary work in the system. We have improved the productivity for companies. Here is a case of a company which is focused on education loan. and how they have used the slide on and slide off feature to basically do digital attendance for their employees, and how it has resulted in superior productivity for the employees. We discussed a case of this automobile dealer in Western Africa who basically used the two-way data flow to improve the customer conversion. And we have this use case, or we discussed this use case of a rural focused vehicle lending company who basically used our current location on the mobile app basically to showcase to their field executives on what is the work that is required to be done against certain customers. Uh, Last week, we showcased to you how the OTP feature has been effectively used by a battery manufacturer to establish, what is the customer details of the end customer who has purchased the product. And we have helped them to streamline their warranty management process. We spoke about this franchisor in the hospitality industry who is using our product, the edit and update feature of our Intellomatic application to basically do regular audits. Today, Jaswinder spoke about another industry. He spoke about how chartered accountants, when they are doing audits, how they could probably use the Intellomatic application. Uh, we spoke about how a multi-brand vehicle servicing chain, how they could submit business plans on behalf of their franchisees to banks using the upload PDF feature. And we spoke about this real estate company, how they used a role-based data collection feature to basically manage their operations in a superior manner. Today, we will talk about certain other features of our product, of our Intellomatic application. The first feature that I would like to talk to you about is our barcode scanning capability. So in case you come across any of these situations where companies would like to take images of the product, and they would also like to do scanning of barcode, the Intellomatic application is very capable in terms of handling it. It's a simple to use. You just point your mobile, our barcode reader will basically read it, and the particular number, it can straight away come in. So there are no errors by way of somebody trying to key in information or anything like that. How this particular feature has been used. We got this idea from a warehouse service provider who the major challenge that they were facing was that during loading and unloading, they were facing the problem of shrinkage. Now, anybody who has catered to or has dealt with this industry, the problem is that 100 units were basically shipped, and only 98 are there in inventory. That's called shrinkage, that 100 minus 98, 2 units. And every unit that is getting lost is like cost to the warehouse service provider, because they have to make it up on behalf of their customers actually. So it is straight away impacting their bottom line. So we deployed the barcode feature. So the beauty is that like the customer, he does not have to buy any kind of additional gadgets. Using a simple mobile app where the Intellomatic mobile application is deployed, the barcode reading is done, and we are able to capture much better information in an easier manner, thus helping this company in terms of reducing their shrinkage and directly impacting the profitability of this company. Jaswinder just spoke about this used car company and how they basically created a transparent mechanism in which information about vehicles and availability of vehicles could be shared with their lenders actually. So here is a use case which we have done with a used car company. They have used the QR code feature actually. So what this company is essentially doing is sticking QR codes on each of their vehicles, which is which is there in the inventory. Our QR code scanner on the Intellomatic mobile application, it would scan it and it would store those details. So no further delays in terms of entering all the make, model, variant, year. I mean, people from the used car industry, they would essentially understand how many mistakes can happen. If I have to enter the same information again and again. But here is another thing actually. The reason why, a used car dealer, he does not get the same level of inventory funding or trade advance support, unlike a new car dealer, is on account of lack of information. There is lack of transparency. So in this particular case, our QR code scanning capabilities coupled with the geofence capability. So the vehicle is inside the showroom, and that's the report which we can straight away share with the lender or with our head office. Um, that will that will basically help in terms of sharing the reports transparently to the lenders, and help this particular and has helped this company to get trade advance facility and a higher trade advance facility as compared to the industry average. um, the other important feature which has been used by multiple customers is the ability of the Interlomatic mobile application uh, to be tracked even in a no data kind of a situation. As long as the device is basically in an open area, the mobile phone is in an open area, and it is the GPS signals are available, we can track the entire journey of the executive who is essentially using. It doesn't matter whether whether the mobile network is available in that area or not. And as soon as the executive comes in a network zone, this particular information is straight away transferred to the Growmatic platform, so that the head office is essentially able to see. What problem could be solved on account of this? A rural focused e-commerce company, they could plan their deliveries in a much better manner. So no more excuse that in my area the mobile network doesn't work, and that's the reason why I won't be using this mobile application. It doesn't matter actually, because the Interlomatic mobile application, it works even in a no network kind of a situation also. So please use these features. We would encourage you that in your respective pitching to your customers or in your industries, you could look at these use cases on how these features could be deployed for the benefit of your customers. The other important feature, and this is where we really cater to the have-nots, people who do not have any kind of an IT system. Our product basically promises that overnight they can have something like an equivalent of an ERP system to manage their operations. You can create an entire organization, the territory manager, the area sales manager, the regional manager, the entire hierarchy can actually be created on our mobile application. We have a lot of examples where companies have used it. One such example, and the reason why we like this particular case, is here is a healthcare startup actually who could overnight automate their entire field force organization hierarchy using our mobile application. So the promise that is being made over here is the speed with which the system can be deployed, and how they are being monitored, and how the entire organizational hierarchy can actually be created with ease. So that is a benefit which many of our customers are kind of benefiting in across different industries. And we would encourage you to talk about this feature during your next pitch to the customers. Moving on to our next product, the Growmatic uh, network management tool. So just to quickly summarize in terms of what we discussed during our earlier meetings or the earlier broadcast, we spoke about how they are a renowned player in the laminates and plywood space, how they used our product to understand competition presence and identify growth opportunities to plan distributors expansion. So they essentially use the map layer by plotting their own network, and also we supported them in terms of plotting the competition network. We had showcased or spoken about this laptop servicing company who could locate more service providers using our Flower tool. It's a very powerful tool. We would request you to reach out to your respective relationship managers to know more about how this particular tool can be can be deployed, or else you can always write to us on our email, and we will be happy to support your use case. We also have this use case of an automobile company on how we have helped them in terms of doing micro market level analysis using our Explorer tool, and how a healthcare company used our sovereign priority index to identify growth opportunities. Last week, we also spoke about how a company in the area of education loan space, how they used our WhatsApp feature to manage their operations in a much better manner. We gave you an example of a leading electric three-wheeler company who is using our curated data. Over here, the vehicle sales data available on the Vahan website, on the RTO. So that data is being used for better planning. We spoke about a large automobile company selling tractors in India, and how they have used a product to align, reassign, and design their territories with ease. And we spoke about, and this is something which is very special in terms of like how, like, our product is doing some really serious stuff in terms of saving lives by helping this company doing live tracking of their field staff and rushing them in the event of some kind of an emergency. Talking about more features, here is this feature about about map radius. This is something that that we deployed for quite a few companies. What they're trying to understand is each of these concentric circles, the green circles over here, the center is basically where their current dealership or distribution point or stockist is located. And the concentric circles is basically the catchment that they are catering to. And you can see a lot of white spaces that, that this particular company has got. And that's the opportunity that organizations have got. How this particular tool has been used. I mean, here is a case of an automobile dealer in Madhya Pradesh who has basically used this tool to map out all the villages which are in a 20-kilometer radius to their dealership. They mapped out, that where all they would like to conduct marketing activities, and the data that was being collected, it was gathered on Intellomatic, and it was monitored on a real-time basis using a Growmatic system. So I think it was great, or a very efficient below the line marketing activity that we could help this particular dealer to do in their in their catchment area. We also have this feature of importing data on Excel. And that's a pretty powerful feature, because our promise basically is that within minutes, the data that is available in different Excel sheets or workbooks, it can straight away be imported and represented on our Growmatic platform, on our map system actually. And different companies, they have used this product or they have used this feature very effectively. Here is a case of an automobile dealer in Western Africa who has basically imported all their existing inquiries into our system. And they have done their value add in terms of these inquiries belong to which area and all that, and passed on these inquiries to the field staff. And using the Intellomatic application, they have got a lot of updates against these inquiries actually. So the feature they used is the import data feature on Excel. It's a very easy way of importing the data onto our system. Our Growmatic platform also has the capability to create bubble maps. How companies can use these bubble maps? So if you see this number over here, 748, somewhere in the New Delhi area, when I keep on zooming, it will keep breaking up, and the last thing will be right up to a pin code or right up to a street level, that how many inquiries are coming from this particular area. That is how the bubble basically breaks up. And how this particular tool has been or feature has been used. Here is a case of a multi-brand vehicle service chain, which is expanding through a franchisee route. What they did was they brought in almost 12 to 13,000 of their live franchisee inquiries. They brought it onto our system so that targeted marketing activities could be done in areas where there are lesser inquiries actually. So let's say I'm more focused on in the eastern UP, northern Madhya Pradesh belt, and I would like to appoint, but I see that there are not many inquiries in this particular area. Let me do some below the line marketing activities over here. While let's say a place like a Mumbai or a place like New Delhi, I have a lot of inquiries, so let me not spend my money in this area. So it's a very efficient way in which this company, they manage their expenses. The Growmatic mobile application also has the feature of road distance calculation. You see this blue line over here. The blue line is basically the straight line distance between 2 points. You can see that the distance is 19 kilometers, but that doesn't solve my business problem actually, because my business problem is I would like to understand the road distance between these 2 points actually. And the actual distance is 24 kilometers actually. And that will basically help me to plan whether I want to visit this place, whether I want to set up a new dealership. It will help me in terms of planning. So the road distance calculator has been used by different companies. Here is a use case of a tile manufacturing company, which has essentially used the road distance tool to estimate distance of their existing exclusive showroom from the catchment area and plan the next outlet. We also have use cases of this particular company operating in the used vehicle space, who have used the tool during live pitching to prospective franchisees. And the whole idea is that in case the franchisee says that, you know what, you should not be looking at appointing another dealership in this area, the sales executives or the dealer development team, they could straight away open our tool over there and straight away show that, you know what, I mean, let's not talk theory. Here is the actual data, and let's do our planning on the basis of this. So and that way, organizations are seeing a lot of value. The Growmatic mobile tool, if you see, has got this feature of giving icons. So here is a particular case, let's say in the two-wheeler industry, and we have where are all the Bajaj showrooms located, where are all the Hero showrooms located, where are all the Royal Enfield showrooms located, and each of them comes up in a different layer as a beautiful icon. And when I click on any of these icons, I'll have more details about which showroom or which details are we talking about. And this particular feature has been used by a renowned company in the sanitary ware, operating in the sanitary ware space, who could map out their own different formats, like their exclusive outlets in a different icon, their multi-brand outlets in a different icon. And that way, they could plan their plan their dealer expansion and optimization in a much better manner. Last week we spoke about how this company is using RTO data to basically plan how they are performing in the market. We have other rich sources of data that is available. We have brought in the entire demographic data provided by the Census of India actually, and we have mapped it across at the state level, at the district level, at the sub district like Tehsil, Taluka, right up to a village level actually. When I click on any of these tehsils, or when I click on any of these villages, I will have information about how many households are there, what is the population, what is the split, what is the gender ratio that we are talking about, and a host of other information which has been made available from the Census of India actually. And companies are essentially using this particular data to do their planning in a much better manner. Here is a use case of a rural focused vehicle lending company, which is using a tool in terms of mapping out which villages are above a threshold population level and where we are not present right now. So identifying the right white space, and on the basis of that, planning their expansion. So with that, I would come to the end of my presentation today. Here is our email, info@sovereignsolutions.com. We would encourage you to write to us in case you wish to understand anything more about any of the features that we have discussed. Thank you so much. Over to you, Jaswinder.
Thanks, Shiv, and thanks everyone for joining us and for our learning and earning session. I think with the discussion, me and Shiv has give you a brief about all the new closures and the past with the use cases we have discussed, and it's going to help you. And we are going to get a good closure from your side, and if we're learning, and this session will continue with the same. And any discussion, any feedback from your side are welcome. We have already shared an email ID with you, and you can connect with your respective zonal heads and team members for it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, thank you.